Okay, so I hope those formatives and summatives went well. We're going to be moving on now to the role of a team leader. Now, as much as we believe in the team being very strong and working together and collaborating in order to achieve goals, we also need to remember that there has to be a strong leader that will push from the front. So the first thing that we need to look at is what are the qualities of a leader? Now, for many of you, that will be different, but for most of you, it will be the same. Um, so what we see is that uh, honesty, enthusiasm, taking responsibility, um, making a vision, those kinds of people will be natural leaders. Now, I want you to think about the best leader that you've had, the person that has inspired you, and work out what qualities they had that made them so important in leading a team. Okay, so think about those people, think about their qualities, and write those things down. Okay, so you've got a workbook, just write them down, as many as you can think about. Then I want you to think about the roles that they play. So one is the qualities. What do they have in their personalities and in their character? The second thing is that they have to play a certain role within an organization. So the first thing that they do is they build relationships. Now, if you think about every good leader that you've had, they've built a relationship with you. You trusted them, you know them, they know about your family, you know about their family, they build relationships. Then they give you information, not all the information, enough information that you can make good decisions. So they disseminate, which just means give out information. Then they're decision makers. Good leaders make decisions. So they don't just go, oh, well, things will happen, things might change. They make certain decisions, and those decisions affect where we end up. So they make decisions and they are decisive. Then they're problem solvers. When there is a problem that a leader faces, they don't go, oh no, put their head in the sand and just wait for it to pass. They look at the problem, they analyze it, they come up with possible solutions, they get the team involved, but ultimately they solve problems. And then the leader is an expert. If I owned a construction company, I better have some kind of construction knowledge. If I own an IT company, I might better know how to work a computer. So they should be experts in their fields. So those guys are learning constantly, they're growing constantly, they're developing their knowledge. The leader is an expert. So this is the roles that they play. Okay, move on to the next one. Come on. All right. Now, there's a couple of leadership theories, and I'm not going to go into them very much. You can read about them. They're in your workbook. So let's take a look. There's the role of the leader. Um, that's the things that they need to do. And then there are leadership styles. So, trait leadership says that there are certain personality characteristics that you need to have in order to become a good leader. Here are some of those things that they need to have. Behavioral leadership says that they take certain actions and they show certain behaviors, and because of those behaviors, they are leaders. So you can learn behaviors or you can have them built into you. But ultimately, you need to have certain behaviors. Then you've got contingency. Okay, so it says here a successful leader must be able to identify clues in the environment and adapt their behavior, okay, to the needs of their followers in particular situation. Nowadays, guys, we are in a crisis situation. So you need to know, okay, how to adapt, how to move, how to change direction very quickly in order to keep your company moving forward. So that's called contingency leadership, is you make short-term decisions for the good of the team. Then you've got transformational leadership. Transformational leadership says it's not about me, it's about you. So I'm going to be able to transform the way that you think, your behaviors, the way that your attitudes, your positivity. And if I can get that done, then you're going to start to see changes. So I change you, and by changing you, you get better results. Okay, so you'll see all about transformational leadership. All right, let's go on to the next thing that we're going to be looking at. Techniques for managing team dynamics. And again, I'm going to let you read most of this. The first thing is that you create a team charter. Okay. So you sit down and you agree on certain things as a team: vision and a mission, goals and objectives, ground rules, roles and responsibilities. We spoke about this, but the team charter is putting it in writing that these are the things that we're going to do and this is what we believe in. Okay. Once you've got a team charter, you've got to make sure that you deal with conflict. If you're a leader, you face conflict head on and you try and facilitate conflict. Okay. So you mediate, you speak to both sides, and even when they have a problem with you, you deal with it. And then you need to teach your team members how to deal with conflict, because you can't handle every single conflict in your organization. You might have 1,000 people that work with you. How on earth are you going to do every single conflict? So you teach them how to manage conflict, and they will be in your reference notes of what you need to teach your people. Then you need to build trust. Okay. You need to promote cohesion. Okay, which means that people work together, they collaborate, they talk to each other. Those are things like cohesion. They closely knit. Then you promote creativity. So think out of the box, come up with new ideas, be creative, be innovative, see things in a different angle. So if you can get them to think creatively, well, then they're going to start to make better results. And then you promote productivity. So as much as we work smart by being creative and innovative, we also need to work hard. And so we need to look at productivity. So how many hours are we bringing? How many articles are we making? How could we make more articles? What could we stop in order to be more productive? So those are things that the leaders need to make sure is happening within the teams. Okay, so you manage conflict, you build trust, you have cohesion, you have creativity, and you promote productivity. So let's go into our tasks. Formative Assessment 1.4 says, consider the various leadership styles that you have experienced in your workplace. Remember those 4 styles: trait leadership and transformational leadership and behavioral leadership, and the other one, contingency leadership. Tell me about when you have experienced those different kinds of leadership styles, and what did you feel? Was it effective? Was it not effective? So you tell me about the different leadership styles that you have experienced at home, at church, at mosque, or in your organization, or with your training providers. You tell me about when you've witnessed certain kinds of leadership, and has it worked, and what has not worked. Okay, so that's formative assessment 1.4. And then you are going to do your summative. Now, your summative has 7 questions. Okay, so how do you increase team effectiveness? Go to the top of page 39, read it, and fill it in. Then your leadership techniques, we've just spoken about them, refer to page 39 and 40, and put in what you see there. Summarize it and bring it into that question. Conflict, go to page 42. Trust, page 43 and 44. Go to cohesion, that's on page 44 and 45. Creativity is on page 45. And then on productivity, go to page 45 and 46. So you can pause the video now, and then you can refer back to these page numbers and then go and fill in your formative and your summative. Give yourself at least half an hour to do that, and then come back to the next video.